I'm Molly Jones. We are in Snell Hall Kitchen celebrating Black History Month with chocolate.
Then student media speaks with an award-winning journalist from the Oregonian, Les Zeitz, for his advice on how to be a better journalist.
And concerned citizens gathered at the Corvallis City Courthouse to show their disdain for a recent bill proposed by the North Carolina legislature. We'll have all that and more on tonight's episode of the Beaver News. Good evening, happy President's Day, and welcome to your Monday night edition of the Beaver News. I'm Brittany Mangold.
And I'm Cody Stover. We're glad you could join us tonight.
Tonight, a recent bill proposed by Republicans from the North Carolina State Legislature is making waves across the U.S. The proposed bill set by North Carolina Republicans would make bearing exposed breasts in public, with the exception of breastfeeding, illegal. Specifically, the bill would make public nudity of the breast a Class H felony that could mean anywhere from 30 days to 6 months of jail time.
Breasts are not a crime!
The law will make it a felony, punishable by prison time, for a woman to take her top off in public.
Tim Moffitt, he's the Republican senator, I believe, he specifically stated that it was just directly to stop an event that's been going on for the last 2 years to raise awareness, and that's blatant free speech violation. So going forward with that it's inappropriate, just as inappropriate as a woman's nipple.
It's a slippery slope when they start passing laws because of protests, and it will affect both freedom of speech and civil rights, and not just for women either.
We stand up for the issues we believe in, and we stand up for those that are, in a tough position of their own, and they need to have support from the rest of the world. I
don't think breasts are a crime, and I don't think exposing your breasts for attention should be a crime.
That's ludicrous. Spend 6 months in jail for exposure is a ridiculous concept, especially when it's not exposure with a sexual intent. Now, if you have a sexual intent in Oregon, that's a crime, but to be topless is not.
The bill, if passed, would extend the definition of nudity to include women's breasts, with the exception of breastfeeding. This bill was brought to the floor after several nudist protests from nearby city of Asheville led many private citizens to question whether or not nudity was a legal form of protest.
Events in honor of Black History Month are on campus every day this week. Students and citizens attended From the Spirituals to Hip Hop lecture earlier this evening. The lecture featured the musical journey and history of Black art and culture in America. For students interested in Black history, the OSU's website calendar has information on this week's events. Last week, Beaver News went into the kitchen in Snell Hall to see how chocolate spans across the cultures in America, or in the world.
Beaver News reporter Molly Jones has this sweet story.
There's no sweeter way to bring people together than with chocolate. In the spirit of Black History Month, we joined with Seoul and the Black Cultural Center to learn how chocolate is a cross-cultural treat.
I think chocolate has a great history in our world. It's something that is common through a lot of different communities and cultures, and I thought it would be a great way to bring people together, and hardly anyone refuses good chocolate.
There was a huge turnout of people of all backgrounds and cultures, united by one simple common bond, a sweet tooth.
I really enjoy chocolate, and so, for me, the combination of getting to meet folks in a kind of multicultural setting and then also making chocolate is a perfect combination.
We really wanted to do something different, special, and we thought it would be kind of neat to learn something new and something fun and something sweet.
It's something a lot of people can come together about. If you have 5 people that don't speak the same language from different parts of the world, you bring them together and give them chocolate and you'll see 5 different smiles.
This is Molly Jones with Beaver News.
I love chocolate, and I'm actually still eating all the chocolate I got from Valentine's Day.
Who'd you get it from?
My mom.
Yeah.
What about you?
I got some from my grandma, but yeah, I'm still working to finish it off. So. What's 43 feet high, covered in roped humans, and occurs twice on the Oregon State campus? That's right, the Oregon State rock climbing facilities. Whether you're entering Dixon Rec Center from the backside or going into McAlexander Fieldhouse, it's hard to miss these giant synthetic rock monsters. However, this weekend, they were impossible to miss as Oregon State VertFest 2013 took place this Saturday at McAlexander Fieldhouse. Over 150 climbers took part in the event, which featured both bouldering and top roping competitions for a variety of skill levels. VertFest, which is in its 22nd year, brings together more than just individual climbers, but rather the entire Northwest Collegiate Climbing Circuit community, and featured booths and demos from various outdoor companies. If you didn't make it to VertFest, not to worry, you can satisfy your altitude cravings with the climbing centers at Dixon and McAlexander Fieldhouse that are open afternoons and evenings, Monday through Friday, and 1 to 5 at McAlexander on the weekends.
Studying for midterms can be a challenge, but imagine what it's like to try and focus on an empty stomach. That's one of the things the Human Services Resource Center tries to prevent. Tomorrow afternoon, the HSRC will be hosting a poverty simulation to expose the daily struggles faced by students dealing with hunger and homelessness. The event complements the current food drive for the OSU Emergency Food Pantry, which food donation boxes are located in all campus dining centers. The poverty simulation takes place tomorrow at noon in room 109 in the Memorial Union.
Today until Wednesday, the OSU Pride Center, the Office of the Dean of Student Life, and many other organizations will be holding an event about how an atheist found common ground with religion. Chris Stedman, author of Faithiest, will be the guest of honor at an open book club this next week. The story centers on Stedman, a former evangelical Christian turned openly gay atheist who uses his story to help bridge the divide between atheists and the religious. Stedman will use his knowledge of the church and his own experience both inside and outside the church and academic studies to present a fair representation for both sides of the argument.
Always ask why. That's the advice veteran Oregon investigative reporter Les Seitz offered students in a visit to student media here last Wednesday. George Polk Award and winner of 4-time Bruce Bear Award, Les Seitz spoke with media students about the skills needed to be a good reporter.
Zeitz currently works with the Oregonian as an investigative reporter and also owns his own newspaper and operates a ranch in Eastern Oregon. Here's some of the advice that he had for students.
Such as this. Because at the end of the day, if I can inspire just one of you to stand up and say, yeah, I'm going to join the Army to ask why, then I go home feeling pretty satisfied. Because it's so important to our society, to our lifestyles, to our families, to our children, to our businesses, that we make things operate fairly and honestly and openly. That the strong don't prey on the weak, as they do at Coffee Creek. That the corrupt don't corrupt other people. Corruption has a way of spreading. And if we aren't there asking the questions, the spread will accelerate.
Construction has begun here on campus to create a $4.8 million facility that will be used for testing nuclear energy technology that could be safer, more efficient, and produce less waste than previous approaches. This is a new concept that researchers expect to help matters such as producing electricity, hydrogen power to power automobiles, and steam for a building complex. This new technology is expected to be about 35 to 50% more efficient than existing approaches and will also create about half as much radioactive waste. Field tests are scheduled to begin in April and continue until summer 2014. The work is being supported by the grants from the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Educators said that the new facility and testing programs will also provide opportunities for OSU graduate assistants and even undergraduate students to gain experience working with some of the newest nuclear power technology. Research of this type is a key part of the program just announced called the Oregon State University Advantage, which boosts educational programs and research with real-world applications.
The Vegans and Vegetarians group at OSU were in the quad today to gain support for their organization on campus. The group, which is sponsored by PETA, was handing out vegan soy-based jerky with hopes of showing meat-eating Oregon Staters how tasty the vegetarian-vegan lifestyle can be. The Vegans and Vegetarians of OSU are hoping that they can gain enough support to have a vegan-vegetarian cafe established on campus, and that they had a petition in the quad today to gain signatures on the notion. About 1% of America is vegan-vegetarian, and the group members of the Oregon State group estimated that the numbers of vegan vegetarians on OSU's campus were comparable. For more information on the Vegans and Vegetarians group at OSU, visit the website, a blog on Oregon State's website.
Are you prepared for OSU's Winter Term Career Fair? Students can learn about internship and job opportunities offered by over 130 potential employers. There are 2 events on campus tomorrow to help students prepare for next week's fair. Learn how to interview for success at the OSU Library at 11 a.m., followed by Tips to Build a Resume session at noon.
You may have seen the Red Cross blood drop running around campus today, and you know what that means. That's right, Oregon State's Winter Term Blood Drive is underway. This Monday marked the first day of the drive, which continues every day until Thursday this week in the MU Ballroom. This drive and the other drives, put on by OSU Student Blood Drive Association, are often some of the largest blood donation drives in the Pacific Northwest, with the obvious high concentration of potential donors in the Oregon State student and staff community. The need for blood is high, and students wishing to donate or volunteer can still sign up to do so by calling or visiting the American Red Cross or by visiting the registration desk in the MU Ballroom. Well, before we end our show tonight, our Monday night would not be complete without our Monday night sports update.
Hello, Corvallis. I'm Hayden Wilcox. Milan Lauren is out sick tonight. I'm here with your Monday night sports report. The Oregon State baseball team kicked off the 2013 season with a strong start. This past weekend, the number 6 ranked Beavers went off to California for a tournament in Palm Springs. The Beavers cruised past all 3 opponents with ease. Friday, they defeated Utah Valley 5-2. Saturday, they defeated Gonzaga 9-2, and on Sunday, they mercied UC Riverside 14-3 just after 7 innings. Earlier today, they faced UC Riverside in a rematch that went into extra innings, but the Beavers held on to a 5-4 lead to secure their 4th straight win of the season. For a more in-depth analysis of all your favorite OSU sports, be sure to tune in to our Beaver Sports Show, which airs every Thursday night at 8, right here on KBVR.
Well, that's all the news we have for you tonight. I'm Cody Stover.
And I'm Hayden Wilcox. We're glad you could join us tonight.
For more information on your Beaver News, be sure to find us on Facebook, watch us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter @Beaver News. Have a good night.